Hi there. As you all would have seen the last few days, the top trends have been hashtag boycott Baku and hashtag boycott Istanbul. Why this rage and anger over Turkey and Azerbaijan? Well, here on Decoding Now, we are going to tell you just that. After all, they say that a friend in need is a friend indeed, which essentially means that the one who helps you at difficult times is the one you can rely on. Now, viewers, when Turkey was hit by a devastating earthquake in 2023, India launched Operation Dost. India was the first country to come to Ankara's assistance. Apart from aid, India sent Garuda aerospace drones to help with the rescue operations. But look at what Turkey did, what is being called the Great Betrayal. It backed our adversary, Pakistan, expressed solidarity with it and armed it with drones which were made in Turkey, which were to be used against India. That's right, Turkish drones were amongst the 300 to 400 drones that were fired towards 36 locations in India. In fact, Turkey had even endorsed Pakistan's call for a probe into the Pahalgam attack, an international probe into India's affairs. Many travel portals, meanwhile, have already started issuing warnings. Some have stopped taking bookings for Turkey. A movement on social media has started, and this movement is to boycott Turkey and Azerbaijan. Of course, there are those such as Kerala BJP chief Rajiv Chandrasekhar who have backed the boycott Turkey call as well as the movement gains momentum on social media. You have others such as Rupali Ganguly, an actor who's also posted on social media platform X saying, "Can we please cancel our bookings for Turkey?" She also made an appeal to Indian celebrities, influencers, travelers as well. She said that this is the least that we can do as Indians. Another social media user seemed to agree with the call, such as boycott Turkey and boycott Azerbaijan. In fact, they too have said that we should boycott China as well. Now, this social media user has said, "Salute to all those who are cancelling their book trip to Baku and Turkey. Nobody should invest in these two countries as an Indian." Like them, there are many others who are joining this movement. Now, similar boycott calls, remember, were also made for Maldives in January 2024 after two Maldivian ministers made derogatory comments about Prime Minister Modi. And now we have similar calls which are coming in for Turkey and Azerbaijan. It impacted Maldives and it has potential to impact Turkey and Azerbaijan's tourism industry. But how? Well, we are going to break it down in numbers. Well, over the last few years, there has been a surge in Indian tourists who've been traveling to Turkey, as you must have noticed on your Insta and your Facebook feeds. It is good business for them. Hence the question, should we add to their revenue when they are supporting Pakistan's Air Force and Army modernization efforts? In fact, look at the numbers. 3.3 lakh Indian tourists visited Turkey in 2024. That was a jump of 176% in a decade. Azerbaijan was another such country which stood with Pakistan, condemning Operation Sindoor by our braves. Azerbaijan, remember, has expressed solidarity with the people of Pakistan instead. Well, amid the boycott Turkey call, netizens are also saying no to Baku as well. In fact, take a look at how there has been a spike in the number of Indians who've been visiting Azerbaijan, specifically Baku, in the last 10 years. There has been a 4,900% jump. That's right, a 4,900% jump, right from just around 5,000 tourists to 2.43 lakh tourists in 2024. So a boycott call is definitely going to be a big blow. Not just tourism, India has also got trade relations with both Turkey as well as Azerbaijan. Well, India's economic engagement with Turkey has seen substantial growth. Bilateral trade has crossed $13 billion in 2022-23, while India's trade with Azerbaijan has increased from $50 million in 2005 to $1.4 billion. This was in 2023 alone. So facing the heat, Ankara, of course, has already sent out a message to all the Indian tourists. In fact, here's what the Department of Tourism in Ankara has to say. You can see it on your screens. It's a statement which seems to be making an appeal to Indian tourists and tension between India and Pakistan. It says that most of the local people are unaware of this conflict. This conflict has no bearing on tourism in Turkey whatsoever. That tourists are welcome with utmost courtesy. There is no reason to postpone or cancel any trips. But it also says that there are no restrictions or safety issues. But the question is, can terror and tourism go together? Should India help boost tourism in Turkey when it has already picked Pakistan over India? Well, sample this. Turkish drones were used by Pakistan in India. They were Songar drones that Pakistan sent towards India. They were made by Turkish firm Asasgard. Turkish C-130 Hercules landed in Karachi on 27th of April, just a few days after Pahalgam carnage. Reports are suggesting that this C-130 Hercules aircraft delivered drones for Pakistan. Apart from that, the world is well aware of growing diplomatic and ideological synergy between the two countries, Turkey and Pakistan. And more importantly, Turkey has also been echoing Pakistan's narrative on Kashmir on global platforms. In fact, even now you have the Turkish Prime Minister coming out calling Pakistan its dost. So we ask, is this not the great Turkish betrayal? Of course, there are many who are saying, look at the numbers of Turkey tourism. Indians comprise of merely 1% of tourism in Turkey. Is this going to be more of symbolism than impacting Turkey's tourism in real numbers? Well, we leave it to the discretion of you, the people of India. Well, that's all we could pack in for you here on Decoding Now. Thank you so much for watching. And of course, on the comments section, do remember to tell us what next you want decoded.